Hi, Michael Lantz, 15-time Ironman, training for the Ironman World Championships to win it. And I wanted to go over a quick video on polarization. If you're an endurance athlete, this will make your racing and training way better. First of all, the video I did last on the two energy systems, anaerobic and aerobic. You want to watch that because polarization enhances those two energy systems. First of all, we know that training consists of three parts: duration, intensity, and rest. I'm not going to talk about rest today, although it's a very important topic and it's something that you can't overlook. The two I'm going to talk about are duration, in other words, how long we're training, and intensity, how hard we're training. And I've got intensity broke down into three zones: zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. This is your regenerative zone. This is the zone that builds aerobic capacity. This is the zone that builds VO2 max. Then we have race intensity zone, and then we have way hard intensity. This is your high intensity interval training. This is where you're sucking some major air and your legs, your arms hurt because of blood lactate buildup in them. When we train in these three zones, we're really training your anaerobic system. That's the ability to produce pyruvate. That's the fuel that fuels ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That's the fuel that makes the muscle contract. We are also training the aerobic system, the system that's with oxygen, the system that clears out the pyruvate after it's been burned in the system that also interjects to where you're burning fat. You need both of those systems. You cannot overtrain the aerobic system. You want as maximum possible your VO2 max. You then need to train your anaerobic system so it's enough. It's enough for the type of race you're doing. In my last video, I talked about the blood lactate curve. You'll want to watch that so that you can get an understanding of when I talk about moving the blood lactate curve to the right and to the left. Training for an endurance event, Ironman, triathlon, marathon, anything that's long distance, maybe an ultra marathon, you're training 80% of the time in zone 1. That's easy. That's regenerative. That is to where you're building the cell's mitochondria. You're building more mitochondria up. 80% of the time in zone 1. 20% of the time in zone 3, going hard. And that's why you see this brown curve to denote 80%, 20% in duration. And then, of course, it moves through the intensity range. So many athletes believe they're going to race faster if they train harder. And they're training over here in zone 2. All that does from a blood lactate perspective is to move the blood lactate curve to the left. You want to move the blood lactate curve to the right. I have a friend who just raced Ironman Texas. He had a decent swim. He did a 4:48 on the bike, and he blew up on the run. I talked to him. He's training on that bike almost exclusively in zone 2. He used up so much fuel in his race. His body produces so much blood lactate that when he got to the run and needed that aerobic system, he ended up walking. And so I said, dude, you're going to have to start training over here a lot more. And he just couldn't believe it. No, I can get faster here. And I asked him, how many races have you blown up on? He said, like my last 5. He says, I have great bike splits. I can't run the marathon. I cramp. I do whatever. And he's going to have to slow down in training, increase duration to go faster. In the 2 videos links I have below of Steven Seiler, 2 presentations he did, he's got the training logs of, I think it's a female cross-country skier, because Steven Seiler left Texas and he's lived in Norway for like the last 20 years. And this woman has training logs from the time she was 18 years old, started in the sport, till 30. And what's amazing is that almost all of her training is here, easy. In fact, when he got to Norway and started to understand how the Norwegians coach their athlete, he would see these cross-country skiers kind of go up a hill and they'd stop and they'd take their skis off and walk the rest of the hill. And he thought, what are they doing? I mean, no pain, no gain. Are they like bagging out? And so he asked, what are you doing? And these athletes saying, when I started to go up that hill, raising their intensity, heart rate, they got into these more intense zones. And they recognized that they're going to win these endurance races by going easy. And they were religious at this. And that's when he got his first dose of Polarization. Those 2 links from Steven Seiler below, you'll definitely want to watch. The next time that you prepare for an event, 80-20 is a good starting place. There could be some times, especially as you get closer to the race, or you are wanting to move the blood lactate curve, even you may want to move it to the left. There could be some reason, like Ironman Wisconsin, all those hilly mountains, you may want a bigger anaerobic engine. But generally, if you'll start with 80-20 in all of your training, a little bit of training down here, not much. You're going to race in this intensity, I get that. But you want to build those 2 energy systems, and you do that through Polarization. I hope that helped. If you enjoyed this, if you'll click the subscribe button, I'd appreciate it. And look at those 2 links below, and definitely watch my video on blood lactate testing, training the 2 systems. Take care. Bye now. Big Mike signing off.